They say revenge is a dish best served cold. But I disagree. I think revenge is best served with a slice of cake, a glass of expensive champagne, and an audience of 40 of your closest friends and family. My wife, Sarah, thought she was the smartest person in the room. She thought she could live a double life, lie to my face every morning, and come home to play the loving partner every night. She thought I was oblivious. She thought I was just the nice, boring husband who would never suspect a thing. She was wrong. I knew. I knew for months. And instead of confronting her, instead of screaming and throwing her out, I waited. I smiled. I kissed her goodbye before work. And I planned the most spectacular birthday party she would never, ever forget. Welcome back to ThreadVerse. Today, we are diving deep into a story of betrayal, patience, and the ultimate payback. If you enjoy listening to stories about relationships, karma, and the dark side of human nature, please hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. We upload true horror, drama, and mystery stories every single day, so you'll always have something to listen to. Now, grab a drink and get comfortable. This is the story of how I ended my marriage, with a birthday surprise. To understand the end, you have to understand the beginning. Sarah and I had been married for 7 years. Together for 10. From the outside, we were the perfect couple. You know the type. We posted photos of our date nights on Instagram. We hosted barbecues in the summer. We held hands when we walked into parties. I worked in finance, she worked in marketing. We had a nice house in the suburbs, 2 cars, and a dog named Buster. No kids yet, but we were trying. Or at least, I thought we were trying. Sarah was beautiful. Charismatic. The kind of woman who lit up a room when she walked in. I loved her. God, I loved her so much that it physically hurt sometimes. I trusted her implicitly. The thought of checking her phone or questioning her whereabouts never even crossed my mind. Why would it? We were happy. But about 6 months ago, the atmosphere in our house shifted. It wasn't a sudden earthquake, it was a slow, subtle tremor. It started with small things. She started staying late at work. Big project with the new client, she'd say, kicking off her heels and sighing dramatically. Then came the gym. She suddenly developed an obsession with fitness, going to the gym for 2 hours every night, yet she never seemed sweaty when she came home. Then, the phone habits changed. Her phone used to lie face up on the coffee table. Now, it was always face down. Or in her pocket. Or in the bathroom with her while she showered. She changed her passcode. When I jokingly asked why, she said, "Oh, work security policy." It's annoying. I believed her. Because I wanted to believe her. But the gut feeling, the intuition, you can't silence that. It's a primal alarm bell ringing in the back of your skull. One night, about 4 months ago, I woke up at 2 a.m. Sarah wasn't in bed. I walked downstairs and saw a light coming from the kitchen. She was standing there, whispering into her phone, smiling a smile I hadn't seen directed at me in a long time. When I stepped onto the squeaky floorboard, she jumped. She practically threw the phone across the counter. "Mark," she gasped. "You scared me. Who are you talking to at 2 a.m.? I asked, rubbing my eyes. "Just, my mom," she stammered. "She's not feeling well. She had a bad dream." Her mom lived in a different time zone, sure. But her mom was also a heavy sleeper who went to bed at 9 p.m. sharp. I knew she was lying. But I didn't call her out. I just nodded, got a glass of water, and went back to bed. That was the night the trust died. And the investigation began. I didn't want to be the crazy, jealous husband. I needed proof. Concrete, undeniable proof. It turns out, for all her cleverness, Sarah was technically lazy. We shared a laptop at home. She usually used her iPad, but one Saturday, she had logged into her iCloud on the laptop to download some photos and forgot to log out. I waited until she went to her yoga class that Sunday morning. I opened the laptop. My heart was pounding so hard I thought it would burst out of my chest. I felt like a criminal in my own home. I clicked on Messages. It took a few seconds to load. And there it was. A thread with a contact named David, work. David. I knew David. He was a guy from her office. I had met him at the Christmas party. Tall, decent looking, kind of arrogant. He had shaken my hand and smiled at me while looking right through me. I started reading. And with every scroll, a piece of my soul withered away. It wasn't just flirting. It was everything. They talked about how boring I was. They talked about their connection. They talked about the hotel they stayed at last week when she was supposed to be at a conference. I can't wait to leave him, Sarah had written just 2 days ago. But I need to wait until after my birthday. He promised to take me to Cabo. I want that trip first. David had replied, just make sure you get the jewelry he promised too. Then we can start our life. I sat there, frozen. I felt nausea rising in my throat. The woman I had built a life with, the woman I planned to grow old with, was not only cheating on me but was planning to milk me for a vacation and jewelry before dumping me. I took screenshots. Hundreds of them. I emailed them to a secret account. Then I wiped the history, closed the laptop, and sat in the silence of my empty house. Most people would have packed a bag and left right then. Or they would have waited for her to come home and screamed until the windows shattered. But something cold settled over me. A calm, icy rage. If she wanted a birthday to remember, I would give her one. She wanted a performance. I would give her the performance of a lifetime. Her birthday was exactly 2 months away. Those 2 months were the hardest of my life. I had to play the role of the doting, oblivious husband. I had to kiss her knowing where her lips had been. I had to listen to her lie about her day. I had to sleep next to her, feeling the heat of her betrayal radiating off her body. I ramped up the affection. I brought her flowers. I talked about our future. I saw the guilt flicker in her eyes sometimes, but she pushed it down. She was committed to her plan. Meanwhile, I was busy. First, I hired a private investigator. I had the texts, but I wanted visuals. I wanted there to be zero doubt. The PI was expensive, but worth every penny. Within 2 weeks, I had high-resolution photos of them at restaurants, kissing in parks, and entering a local motel. Second, I contacted a lawyer. I showed him everything. Since we lived in an at-fault state, infidelity played a huge role in the divorce settlement. We drew up the papers quietly. I moved half of our savings, the half that was legally mine, into a separate account. I secured my assets. I was ready for war. Third, I started planning the party. Sarah, I told her one night over dinner. For your 30th birthday, I want to do something big. A massive party. Everyone we know. Her eyes lit up. Really? Like, a venue? The best venue, I promised. And I'm inviting everyone. Your parents, my parents, all our college friends, the neighbors, and your work colleagues too. I want you to feel like the queen of the world. She smiled, squeezed my hand, and said, "You're the best husband, Mark." I almost vomited. "I try," I said. I asked her for a list of work colleagues to invite. Sure enough, David was at the top of the list. "Are you sure you want to invite David?" I asked innocently. "I thought you guys were just working on a project together." "Oh, he's become a good friend," she said quickly. "It would be rude not to invite him." "Okay," I said. "David is on the list." The night of the party arrived. It was a humid Saturday evening. We had rented out the banquet hall of a nice hotel. There were flowers everywhere. An open bar. A DJ playing Sarah's favorite hits. Sarah looked stunning in a red dress. She was glowing, accepting gifts, laughing, holding court. Her parents were there, telling me how lucky their daughter was to have a man like me. My parents were there, beaming with pride. And David was there. He stood near the bar, looking smug. He gave me a firm handshake. "Great party, Mark," he said. "Enjoy it, David," I replied. "It's going to be a night to remember." I watched them throughout the night. They were careful, but not careful enough. A lingering touch on the arm here, a secret glance there. They thought they were invisible. They thought they had won. Around 9 p.m., after everyone had eaten and the cake had been cut, I walked up to the microphone. The DJ lowered the music. The room went silent. 40 pairs of eyes turned to me. Sarah stood in the center of the room, David just a few feet behind her. "Can I have everyone's attention, please?" I said, my voice steady. Sarah smiled at me, expecting a toast to her beauty and our love. "I want to thank you all for coming tonight to celebrate Sarah," I began. "Sarah is a woman of many talents. She's hardworking, she's passionate, and she is incredibly full of surprises." The crowd chuckled politely. "Sarah has been expecting a special gift from me," I continued. "She thinks I'm taking her to Cabo next week. She thinks she's getting a diamond necklace." Sarah did a little excited shimmy. Her mom clapped. "But," I said, my tone darkening slightly, "I decided to get her something she truly deserves. Something that reflects the reality of our last 6 months together." I signaled to the tech guy I had hired. "Can we dim the lights, please? I have prepared a special slideshow." Sarah looked confused, but still smiling. A large projection screen descended behind me. "Usually, these slideshows are about happy memories," I said into the mic, "baby photos, wedding pictures, vacations. But I wanted to share a different side of Sarah. A side she has been working very hard to hide from all of you." The first image popped up on the screen. It wasn't a baby photo. It was a screenshot. It was the text message where Sarah wrote, "I can't wait to leave him. But I need to wait until after my birthday to get the jewelry." A hush fell over the room. It was instant, suffocating silence. Sarah's smile dropped. She froze. "What is this?" she whispered. I ignored her. "Next slide, please." The next image was a photo taken by the PI. It showed Sarah and David kissing passionately in the parking lot of a motel. The timestamp was clearly visible, last Tuesday, 5:45 p.m. A collective gasp went through the room. Sarah's mother put her hand over her mouth. Sarah's father turned a shade of purple I had never seen before. David, who was sipping a beer, choked. He looked like he wanted to run, but he was blocked in by Sarah's cousins. "Mark, stop!" Sarah screamed, lunging toward the stage. "Stop this right now." "I'm not done," I said calmly into the mic. Next slide. Another text. David writing, "He's so pathetic. He has no idea." I looked at David. "I might be pathetic, Dave. But at least I'm not the guy who sleeps with a married woman and then gets exposed in front of her entire family." Sarah was crying now, hysterical tears. "Mark, please. Let's talk about this at home. Not here. Please. We don't have a home anymore, Sarah," I said. "I spoke to the landlord. I moved out this morning while you were getting your hair done. My stuff is gone. The locks have been changed. And by the way, I reached into my pocket and pulled out a large manila envelope. This is my actual birthday gift to you." I walked off the stage and handed the envelope to her. She was shaking so hard she could barely hold it. "What is it?" she sobbed. "Divorce papers," I said, loud enough for the room to hear. "Happy birthday, Sarah." The chaos that followed was biblical. Sarah's father walked up to David and punched him square in the jaw. I didn't plan that, but it was a nice bonus. Sarah's mother was screaming at Sarah, asking how she could be so stupid. My parents were just standing there, shocked but supportive, staring daggers at their soon-to-be ex-daughter-in-law. I didn't stay to watch the rest. I walked out of the banquet hall, walked through the lobby, and stepped out into the cool night air. I felt light. For the first time in 6 months, the weight on my chest was gone. I took an Uber to a hotel where I had booked a suite for myself. I ordered room service. I turned off my phone. When I turned it back on the next morning, I had 50 missed calls from Sarah. 20 from David, probably begging me not to send the photos to his wife, which, by the way, I had already done. And dozens of texts from friends saying things like, "OMG," and, "You are a legend." It's been 6 months since the party. The divorce was finalized last week. Because of the evidence I gathered, the infidelity clause kicked in. She didn't get a dime of my savings. She didn't get the car. She got nothing but her clothes and her shame. Sarah tried to contact me a few times. She sent long emails apologizing, blaming David, saying it was a mistake, saying she still loved me. I never replied. I simply forwarded them to my lawyer. As for David, he got fired. Turns out, dating a coworker and causing a scene that involves the police, thanks to her dad's punch, is against company policy. His wife left him too. He lost everything. And me? I'm doing great. I took that trip to Cabo by myself. I sat on the beach, drank margaritas, and read books. I realized that I liked my own company. I realized that being alone is infinitely better than being with someone who disrespects you. I've started dating again recently. It's slow. I have trust issues, obviously. But I'm healing. Sometimes I think back to that night. The look on her face when the slide changed. The silence in the room. The feeling of handing over that envelope. Was it petty? Yes. Was it dramatic? Absolutely. Was it worth it? 1,000 times, yes. She wanted a surprise for her birthday. I just gave her what she asked for. And that is the story of the ultimate birthday surprise. What do you guys think? Did Mark go too far? Should he have handled it privately? Or did Sarah deserve every bit of humiliation she got? Personally, I think if you play stupid games, you win stupid prizes. And Sarah won the grand prize that night. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. If you have a story about revenge or betrayal, send it to us, maybe we'll feature it in the next video. Don't forget to like this video if you enjoyed the drama, and subscribe to ThreadVerse for more stories like this every single day. Until next time, stay loyal, or stay ready.